I've always considered myself a highly skeptical person. I don't believe in ghosts or anything supernatural, and I'm usually the first to dismiss strange stories as exaggerations or misunderstandings. That's why what happened to me a few weeks ago has been so hard to process. My friend Steve and his wife were going out of town for their anniversary weekend. Their kids were away on a school trip, so the house would be empty except for their golden retriever. I offered to stay there and watch the dog. It seemed like an easy, relaxing weekend, quiet, comfortable, and uneventful. Friday night went exactly as expected. The dog and I watched movies, and everything felt normal. Around 1 a.m., I went to sleep in the guest bedroom, with the dog lying nearby. At exactly 3:21 a.m., I woke up suddenly to the sound of aggressive barking. It wasn't normal barking, it was loud, frantic, and full of fear. I rushed downstairs and found the dog in the kitchen, standing in front of the basement door. His fur was standing on end, and he looked completely terrified. I tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't respond. Thinking it might be an intruder, I grabbed a knife and slowly opened the basement door. The dog refused to follow me. Instead, he stood at the top of the stairs, growling and shaking. I went down alone and turned on the lights. I checked every corner, closets, behind furniture, even the bathroom. There was nothing there. No sign of anyone. But one thing stood out. The basement was unusually cold, far colder than I had ever felt before. The next night, I decided to sleep on the couch just in case something happened again. Sure enough, at almost the exact same time, the dog began barking violently again. This time, his behavior was even worse. When I touched the doorknob, he stopped barking and began whining and crying, almost as if he was warning me not to go down there. Still, I opened the door and went into the basement again. It was cold, just like before, but now there was a strong, foul smell in the air. It was hard to describe, just something rotten and overwhelming. Even stranger, a few items had been knocked over. Bar stools were lying on the floor, and some family pictures had fallen off the walls. I quickly set everything back upright but didn't stay long because the smell was unbearable. When I returned upstairs, the dog eventually calmed down, and we both fell asleep. The next morning, everything was completely normal. The smell was gone. The basement temperature felt normal again. Even more surprising, the dog followed me downstairs without hesitation, acting perfectly calm. When Steve returned, I told him everything. Instead of laughing, he became serious. He told me that when the dog was a puppy, it used to behave the same way at that basement door, but it had stopped years ago for no apparent reason. That explanation didn't make me feel better. If anything, it made the whole experience even more unsettling.